Hello everyone. Today is Saturday, February 19th, 2022 at 2:28 p.m. Excuse me. Sorry. Last night I don't think I got any sleep last night. I tried to go to bed. It was 1:30 in the morning, and I was working on a couple of more short stories, plus writing. Working on writing a couple of more short stories, plus watching, um, a few cooking YouTube videos from other people. I guess that kind of soothes me and helps calm me down at night before bed is to watch some cooking YouTube channels or whatever else is interesting. So, um, well, I didn't really get to fall asleep. Well, I probably got sleep before daylight, but I don't remember it. But I'm still feeling tired and sleep deprived, and I remember twisting and turning a lot. Excuse me. So then I finally, after daylight, I got me some sleep. And throughout the middle of the night, some idiot was blasting loud music like every 15 minutes, and it could have been that perp neighbor with the blue truck. And so then I went. I was finally was able to go to sleep, and like sometime after 6 o'clock, and then I woke up, and it was 9:27 in the morning. So the job interview, it seemed like it went well, and they said they need people really bad, and so um excuse me. So the I mean I figure I wonder why the people who, if they say you're supposed to meet with this person, and then I go to the job interview, and it's somebody that's the opposite gender of a person who I was supposed to meet up with. But at least the girl was nice and didn't hurt me. She was really, really nice. And well, she was nice enough to have me walking out of there feeling confident that I will get hired. But you never know, though. You never know. But I don't know when I'm supposed to hear back. But she said the job pays $10 an hour. But I'm still unclear on whether or not I'm able to work full time, because she said mostly part time, but I need full time in order to be able to get to survive. And that's all they want to give people these days is part time. And then it's like an inconvenience of a person working part time, and then they got to work two jobs or even three jobs to make ends meet. And they have to have their own transportation and have a car in order to, you know, in order to get from one job to another. It's the way the system operates. Back then, people used to get to work overtime. But now, I don't know what president calls for now people, you know, they won't allow I mean, it's a struggle for them to, they won't allow full time. And and so when you're not allowed to work full time or overtime, and then you're forced to work part time, and then you can't even really make ends meet, and then that's like forced poverty. So I mean, and then the wage is so low, and then prices are rising, and there's a housing shortage, this shortage, that shortage. So, you know, I was struggling with $12 an hour. And you know, so I mean, I don't know how many, if I would even get the job. I don't know if I even get hired. But they have better job opportunities with better pay. As long as I mean, if I could get access to a car, if I can get a vehicle, I can get better, I can get more job opportunities and better opportunities and higher pay, and I may not have to struggle as much. But you know how they sabotage you as a targeted individual if they try to vandalize your car and set up car accidents, and which is not an accident, because if they it's deliberate, but I mean it's an accident, on unintentional accident on your part, the targeted individual, but I mean it's the gang stalkers would intentionally cause the crash. You know, it's I mean if the gang stalkers crash into you on purpose or whatever, and or they try to deliberately run you off the road, or if they you know if you try to go get your car fixed and then they break it even more, and then you paying more money and you get called the fool. So but I mean, I don't, people shouldn't take that right away from us. And so it's like I don't know, I just, but anyway, I mean, the job interview seemed like it went well, and it seemed like it went well, and um the second Uber driver was definitely a perp, and the first Uber driver, he didn't act like a perp, but he wore a red long sleeve shirt, but he didn't act like a perp really. But the second guy, Harper, he was driving a red Jeep Liberty. I rode with him before, and he smacks his gum really loud, and then blasts loud music, and then trying to entangle me in a conversation. But I feel like I don't want to try to tell people what to do in their car. But I felt like the whole ride was miserable and torturous, and he was driving slow, and they had a whole empty right lane, and you have to get in the right lane to come here to this motel, and he wanted to drive slow and stay in the left lane with all this traffic, rather than getting in front of, I mean, getting in the other lane and then just going. He wanted to deliberately be in the left lane with slow traffic on purpose, and driving real slow and smacking his gum and blasting loud music. And he was a young ass kid. So, but after I went to the job interview, I went to, well, to me, that was just straight up breakfast. But Um, I felt like it was a lot of seafood options for the brunch or and lunch, but I felt like with all this canned tuna and sardines I've been having all week, I feel like I wanted to take a break from that. But I haven't had eggs in a while, so I just had some biscuits, gravy. I mean biscuits and gravy, and I had some eggs. And so you know, that was $11 plus tax, and that was my. I consider. I mean, even though it was total breakfast, but it was lunchtime. It was like 11:30. Um, that was my quote unquote brunch. But you know, I try to be frugal, try to not spend that much, and I mean, it was a local restaurant. I mean, they don't have Waffle House nearby. Like the other place was Waffle House next door. But I'm pretty sure that having biscuits and gravy and eggs on the side would have been, you know, or at a Waffle House or something, it would have been a lot less. But you know, for me that was brunch. But for dinner, um, I guess I'll have beans and rice for dinner. You know, canned beans and rice with some coconut oil and some pink Himalayan salt, and call it, and maybe a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and call it dinner. So, yeah, I'm somewhat getting low on my canned foods that I that I have, you know, canned and packaged foods. I'm not totally low, but I've been eating 2 meals a day and not 3 meals. So that kind of stretched me, but otherwise, I probably wouldn't have any more canned food left over. But you know, I'm just basically surviving day to day, and I'm just getting like a little bit of a you know, I try to take a little break sometimes from just so much canned food all the time. But I was already out and about, and so I went to, you know, go eat while I was out, and then I came back here, and so you know, I mean, I haven't had eggs in a long time. I mean, not a long time, but it's been a while. But I'm trying to remember when was the last time I had eggs. Um, I don't remember, but I may have had eggs sometime after I. Yeah, it was after I came here. It's been like a couple of weeks. It's been a little while. So, I had scrambled eggs and biscuits and gravy, and I didn't choose to get any drink because I already had to drink a lot of water for the drug test, urine test for the job. So I'm feeling fearful and worried that if I were to get hired for that job, and I mean, I was scared of it not being enough for me to be able to cover, to be able to get to afford to stay here every week. But if I have to leave, then I have to be back on the streets. And when I was working at Seville Quarter and living on the streets, you know, I was able to get to go to the YMCA right behind it and take a shower. But I'm wrongfully banned from the YMCA a second time because of the gang stalking and setups, and they lied on me. That's the second time I got banned from the YMCA because of somebody lying on me. So If I were to be back on the streets, I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't have the YMCA to go get to take a shower at. And so, how could I get clean for work if I had a job? Um, and then when I was working at Seville Quarter, I mean, I just walked there, and I didn't have to take an Uber or a ride there. But the Uber ride each way was about a little bit over $10 going from here to the job, and from here to the interview and back. So that was like, I'll say, um, about $21 round trip. But the place where I went to get the interview is not the same location that I'll be working at. So I don't know how far that is to the other job site. But when I was on the streets and working at Seville Quarter, I would call up landlords and tell them about my job, and tell them I also get Social Security, and they would tell me that that I do not make enough to get to stay at even a $700 a month apartment. And that's all I'm allowed to get as a target, a blacklisted targeted individual. That's all I'm allowed to get that's all I'm allowed to get is the low wage part time jobs or low wage jobs. And if I try to say I want full time, then they reduce my quality of life by doing stuff like reducing my hours, or they won't allow me to work full time. They will find, sneaky ways to try to reduce my hours to part time, like they did at the schools that I was working at. They reduced the full time to the 34 hours a week. But the first week or two when I was working at the high school, I was getting more hours. And I started to feel confident that I can get my own place and get a car. And so, right when I started to try to look up places to try to call to buy, I mean, not buy, but, try to finance a car, or when I started to inquire about that, or try to look for a place to live, a permanent place to live, what they did was they moved me from the high school to the junior high to clean up, and they reduced my hours to 34 hours, or somewhere between 30 and 34 hours a week. But when I was able to get in I was working like 40 between 40 and 43 hours a week, and getting a couple of hours overtime, and that was helping me being like a little bit financially comfortable. But then, they try to make it like as if I'm such a great worker that I'm such a great worker that you move me to the middle school and then reduce my hours. But everybody was working everybody at the janitorial, us 4 or 5 people, we all had that set amount of hours from 12:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then we had to take out for a break as well. So that's and then on Wednesdays it was 4 hours a week. So, and we couldn't do overtime like I had liberty and luxury and the freedom to do at the high school. I was worn out and tired and exhausted, but I was, almost was able to make it to where I can start to get to work independently. Get my own place again. So, even when I was working at Seville Quarter, they were telling me that I, you know, they were telling me, landlords were telling me about that my Social Security plus the full time 40 hours a week, $10 an hour, that's not enough for the 3.5 times the rent that I had to be required. So, but anyway, they were saying at this job interview today, I was told that it starts off $10 an hour, and then I have to take some training courses to be a manager, and then it'll be $12 an hour. So these managers and team leaders and shift leaders don't get paid that far off from minimum wage. I thought they would have got paid salaries or got paid way higher. But it's like, wow. I don't know, but I don't even know if I'll get the job, if I'll be selected to get the job. I don't know. But also Friday, I found another website where I could go and apply for jobs and put in applications, and I put in about 4 of them. And so before I go, I wanted to remind y'all that tonight, want to remind y'all again that tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm planning to do a live stream. I've done regular videos on my other channels of just reading out some of my short stories that I wrote. But I plan to do a live stream and promote my Ko-fi webpage and also my blog and read out some of my short stories and hope I can get some donations that way. And I plan to read about maybe at least about 10 short stories, and if people enjoy them, then I can read out some more short stories. And so if you are a targeted individual, if you're a writer, or if you love to read, or if you're a Christian, or if you're a victim of or a survivor of cults or narcissistic abuse, if you dealt with gang stalking or any one of those categories, you're welcome. You're welcome to come to you're welcome to come. But donations are not mandatory or obligatory. That you're not obligated. It's if you want to, and this could help me towards my daily living, or if it can help me towards any possibility of getting to stay here longer at the motel, or if it can help me with necessary Uber rides to run errands, or for me to have food to eat, or if I needed to get groceries or something, or just daily survival. And I don't even, when I have a roof over my head, I don't even spend money every day. And I stay locked in the motel room, and I don't even go out and about all the time. I just stay in here all the time. So, I know some of the people that are part of the writing community or reading community, they might be puzzled and not know what gang stalking is. But I can give a little brief overview. if they don't know what it is. So, well, I guess it looks like as if 4 people like the short story that I wrote about Smoochie's the cuddly pup. I mean, sometimes I even laugh at what I wrote on my own short stories, but I don't know if other people will find it funny. So, I don't even know where the hell in my wild, weird imagination do I come up with these just random ideas that, I mean, even with writing fiction, it helps me learn more about myself than I thought I knew about myself. And it's like some just random creative thought that you don't know, that I normally don't, that I don't think every day. And you know, it's just really strange about stuff that I don't even think about every day. But after I'm done with this video, I might just take a nap. If not take a nap, then I'm going to work on some more writing or some more short stories. I already have at least 10 of the stories selected of what I'm going to read tonight. So I'll see y'all later.